Fuck them kids.
Yo, that's how I be. Yo,
For real.
bro. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn how to say no to my daughter, but it's tough, man. It's tough, and that all.
She say no.
Yo, that all reverts back to the way we was raised. You know what I'm saying?
What your wife be saying? Do your wife tell her no easily?
My wife be like no more than me when it comes to like buying stuff though. You know what I'm saying? But other than that,
I buy more stuff, but I tell them no for other shit. Like if they piss me off, like they can't do certain shit. They piss me off. Like I buy them whatever.
yeah, I say no for stuff in the house, but when it come to buying stuff, yo, like my daughter would tear my pockets up, and I get home and look at all the receipts and be like, God damn, yo.
But like you said, a lot of that comes how you have grown up. Like if you were deprived of a lot of that stuff, like you feel like you don't want to deprive your kids of it.
Well, I wasn't really deprived of a lot. I mean, I had my share of shit, but you know what? I be messed up because I don't want to have no regrets. I don't want to get older and my daughter feel like I deprived her. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like that top tier dad where my daughter, tends to brag about me as she gets older. It's just it's like an ego thing for me. Like I want to be the number one dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Word. Be rich to be here. Did you have to stand Pee Wee in the building? What's popping? Q?
What's up?
Q. Oh, you said Q. You hit the button and then said Q was popping. All I heard was popping. What's popping? Camp? What's popping, panel? The fuck going on? You already know what the fuck going on with me. You already know I still got the hoodies, the t-shirts, the hats. You already know my baby got her book out. Make sure y'all copy.
Shit like that.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. It is what it is. I like the energy. Mary was good.
What's up, Ham? How you doing today?
Oh, shit, man. Everything's everything, man.
I said, don't talk about my internet today. You know, it's hurricane, tropical storm, whatever down here. So if my shit start glitching.
What was your excuse last week? Another hurricane?
Listen, 11 o'clock.
I got something for y'all 11 o'clock niggas, all right. Net on that. Him, I ain't get the link. Yeah. What's gonna happen, man? Shit. Bub, what's good?
Hey, man. I miss y'all, man. They finally freed your boy. I'm here.
Wow. Shit like that.
I miss you. Isha, what's popping?
What's popping? Listen, if my nigga don't support me like Q support her bae, I don't want him.
Word.
Shit like that.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. She got a book signing coming up, don't she?
September. Yeah.
That's what's up. She was acting like she was so stressed with all the shit she got to do, all these first world problems. She like, oh man, I got 2 book signings coming up. I got to go to school. I said, man, that sure is stressful. Don't go to this year. God damn it. Chief was good.
What's happening, my people? I feel like it's been a while. I think I was here last week, but it still feel like a long time.
Yeah, man. Weeks go by, man.
Word.
Damn. And I'm all caught up on the clips, so I only been putting out 2 a day because I had like a bunch in the clip, but now they like I'm caught up basically. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Alex.
Hey, Ham. Hey, y'all.
Why your lips so greasy? Who you trying to impress?
I got my Carmex over here. Like, that's what it is.
I do remember you was a little nappy head chap lip kid when you was growing up.
Nappy head and chap lip, Alex.
Yeah. I used to see Alex. I'm like, Chief, you just want to grab her shit. I want to do every time I saw Alex, I'm like, man, I just wish somebody would just rush this shit.
Wow.
Damn, man. That's what's up, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. Check out the merch. All the links in the description. Scroll down, click on all the links. I got Meet the Team too. So we got the links to everybody on the panel that's consistent. And they doing a lot of big things. You feel me? Chief, I need that link to the new clip so I can play it up here.
Bet.
This might be risky. We here. Man, who in the chat so far? Everybody trickling in here for the tea. Savage was popping. Lionel, I see you. Lionel always first on Wednesdays. What's up, man? Damn. All right, let's get it started, man. The fatherless epidemic. There's a couple people actually running their platform from the Republican Party on this epidemic being probably the biggest issue in our country. Did you guys see Larry Elder on the Breakfast Club?
Nah.
No.
Do you guys know Larry Elder?
Sure.
No. God damn. But y'all travel, y'all take cheap trips, but y'all don't know nothing about what's going on at home, huh?
Here you go.
Good God Almighty. Gary was good. Rasheen was popping. All right, let me play this clip. I think this will set the stage. I was contemplating that I want to go with the clip, but I think I will. Let me know y'all can see the screen, all right?
Can see it. Yep.
All right.
Got it.
Is the epidemic not of COVID, but of fatherlessness. 70% of Black kids today were without a father in the home, married to the mother, up from 25% back in 1965. Now 25% of white kids enter the world today without a father in the home, married to the mother. The stats are clear. Even Barack Obama once cited them. If you're raised without a dad, you're 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. What's happened? In the mid-60s, with I think the best of intentions, a Democrat named Lyndon Johnson launched what he called the War on Poverty. And since then, we have incentivized women to marry the government and incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. You know, when I say this to people, the pushback I get is, well, there are lots of things that are going on, systemic racism, poverty. Here's the problem. If you look at a young Black male aged 10 to 43, that's young to me because I'm 71 years old. A young Black man in that demo is 13 times more likely to be murdered than a young white man, same demo. Young Black man, real young, 19 and under, the number one cause of preventable death is homicide, almost always at the hands of another young Black male. Same demo for whites, the number one cause of preventable death is unintentional deaths. That includes drug overdoses, automobile accidents, drownings. It's not until they get to number 4 that death is the cause. In America, 60% of the shootings, the robberies, and the homicides are committed by Black people, often against other Black.
Volume went out.
It went out, Hamp.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
We can't hear nothing.
I don't think he hear us.
They're acting up now. You frozen?
Him. Yo, we ain't here like the last minute.
Right.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we ain't here like the last minute of the clip.
Okay, hold on. Let me share it again.
One of the kids probably pulled out the power cord.
He was cooked. Well, I'll let y'all be the judge. All right. Can't see it?
Yep.
Yep.
Let me go back.
The Civil Rights Act of 64, Kate was prepared to say Black people are just genetically inclined to commit other Blacks. Of the homicides in this country, half of them are Black victims, almost all killed by other Blacks. How do you explain that? if it isn't for the absence of fathers? Are you prepared to say black people are just genetically inclined to commit more crime? I doubt it. And the go-to reaction often is poverty and systemic racism. Here's the problem. 1940, when there was blatant racism. This is before Brown versus Board of Education, before the Civil Rights Act of 64. KKK was still alive and well. 87% of blacks lived under the poverty line. Now it's about 15%. You can't blame it on poverty. You can't blame it on racism. It is the breakdown of the nuclear intact family, and neither side is talking about it. The left doesn't talk about it because they caused it with the welfare state, and our side does not talk about it because if you're white, you'll be accused of dissing single moms who are heroically raising these kids, or you'll be accused of being a racist, or if you're black, you'll be accused, as I was by the LA Times, of being the black face of white supremacy. Nobody's talking about that. I am.
What are the reasons, if your statistics...
Did I catch it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I think Larry Elder. So he's running for president. He hasn't yet made the stage. I think you have to have a certain amount of votes or signatures or something. So in the last Republican debate, he was not on it. I think he's close. Vivek Ramaswamy is another Republican candidate. He also spoke on fatherlessness, being crucial to how the trajectory of our country. So what you guys think about Larry Elder on fatherlessness?
I don't agree.
Yeah, I got some questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
I probably need some more clarification. He said men are incentivized to be out of the home by the government. I'm unclear on that.
Financial responsibility. So I guess he's saying that the men, because the government provides so much financial assistance, that they don't have to take care of, and then the kid's gonna be taken care of regardless.
And that's viewed as an incentive for the men.
Now I'm trying to think. We can rewind it back. Did he say incentive for the men, or
yeah? He said
I thought it was for the women.
Yeah,
he used both of them.
I know he said incentive for the women because you don't get the funding if you have a man in the home.
He said it for both of them.
And then men are avoiding their financial responsibilities because the kid is being taken care of by the government.
Yeah, Ham, can you play that back? Because I think I heard the same thing as Chief, and the fact that Alex didn't. We're probably like split on the panel as to.
I understood that point.
Go ahead, Bob.
I understood that point because he was trying to blame like the crime rate on the lack thereof, the fathers being in the household because of what the government has done to the father. But I don't really agree with that shit, man. You can't blame the crime rate and shit like that on the lack of fathers being in the household, man. That's like a societal issue to me per se. I'm not really putting that on the fatherless households, man. Honestly.
I hear what you're saying, Bub, but when you look at it from that perspective, it is a societal thing. But in the overall, I guess the norm of society right now, or the averages state that the fatherless homes are attribute the incidents that occur are attributed to the fatherless homes overall throughout society. You know what I'm saying?
See, I thought you was gonna be on my side though, Chief. You might have to take a step back, sir.
What do you mean?
Me and you are fucking allies.
No, I don't disagree with that. I'm just talking about in reference to my man's statement. Like, it's a lot of niggas that out here ain't taking care of their kids. We don't hang out with niggas, so we don't really, what I'm saying? We ain't in that circle.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying when he geared it towards like the crime rate and stuff like that, like, come on now, me and you, come on, bro.
What though? What you and Chief? What though, bro?
Me and Chief came up with fatherless households. We didn't end up in jail. We wasn't out there committing all types of
your personal self out of the equation. You got to think bigger than you and bigger than your personal circle.
Okay, I understand that aspect as well, but outside of me and Chief, we have multiple friends that came up in fatherless households as well. Ain't none of us go to jail.
Again, she's talking about our circle though, Bob.
Right, your circle also.
We don't hang out with them cats, but when you look at the big picture, so it's probably a lot more of them deadbeats hanging out than a lot more of the good dads.
True. I feel like it's a reach though, man. I don't know where he got his numbers from in his statistics, but I don't know, man.
So somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of his stats are from, I think it's like 1994.
Wow, it's 2023.
Right, and I was gonna ask about that because didn't they say that Black fathers are the most active in their lives among all groups in America? So that was the most recent study that came out.
Mm-hmm. I think that well, even though the stats are from 94, I think somebody correct me if I'm wrong if they know more than me about it. The numbers are still the same. So 73% of our kids are still born out of wedlock to single mothers, and then the jail population hasn't changed. So, you know, the people that are in jail, different IEPs, failing in school, those numbers are still the same, and they come largely from single mother led homes.
Yeah, that should be weird when people say stuff like that so matter of factly when there's so much evidence that points to this system. You know, I think what he said sounded like a true Republican, but it's the accuracy. You know, it's like we could all just say a bunch of shit that sounds good and then just try to sell it to somebody for votes. You know what I mean? Like,
what would be his benefit of running on this platform? This is not a popular platform to run on.
Sometimes in our society, people like what's different. You know, I don't know what his true benefit would be, but yeah, I can't really smoke a bag of much of what he was saying. Like, and I'm not how can I say it? When it comes to politics, I have my opinions about that. Like, I don't typically go either way. So I'm pretty open-minded, if that makes sense. If he was saying something real as a Republican, but I don't agree with none of the shit that he was talking about.
So the avoidable deaths by Black boys at the hand of other Black boys and the percentages, that you're saying that you can't correlate that back to fatherlessness?
Not all of it, because again, I think that and I said this before on the panel, I think that there are things that factor into that other than just not having a father.
I agree, true.
Like,
yeah,
like
but I think
we even go back to him to stuff like, and I've spoken about this before, knowledge of self, things like diet, right? The stuff that gets put in certain communities that doesn't get put into other communities. That's kind of where I look at that from. So it's not just to say we got to stop killing each other. Yeah, that's one part of it. But the people who control our food sources, let's start putting better foods in our community so that we can have a better, better mental to not do some of this shit. But all that, like, we got chicken wing spots and all that shit. They're not Black owned businesses. A lot of these businesses, chain restaurants. You go to New York, there's a fucking Kennedy chicken on every corner. Niggas own all that shit.
What are you saying though about those spots? Are you saying that their objective is to kill their clientele off?
I'm saying that the food doesn't provide enough for us to be able to think from the right place. You know, like all that, if you pump a kid with sugar and then put them in front of a TV all day, you're gonna get a different result than if that kid is eating fruit and playing outside. You get what I'm saying?
I understand, but are you saying that is there some reason is holding Black people back from going to the grocery store? If you notice, when they robbed Chicago, remember when I showed you guys the video of Walmart? When they ransacked the Walmart, the fruits and vegetables was still there. Is that systemic? Did they make them take the cherry, you know what I mean, the Fruit Loops and not the onions and vegetables and all that other stuff?
Yeah, no, yeah, it is, in a sense, because once you get your body so used to something, you ever try to go on a diet? Yeah, once you get your body so used to something, somebody could put a fucking piece of fruit in front of you or a burger, you're naturally going to gravitate towards that burger if that's what your body is inclined to.
But
so
who's making people? Are you saying? Go ahead.
Yeah, so it kind of does create that idea. I guess in a way, it's so much fuckery that it allows for people like this guy to come in and say some smart, dumb shit. And everybody's like, well, he's right. We could just all stop doing this and then it's done. It's like we're so conditioned. So there's a bigger wound there that's not being addressed. And I feel like there are only few black people on few platforms that are actually speaking out about it. But we all sound like the dummies and the idiots because
You're
it's
talking about food though? But we heard that before though. We heard food being a mechanism for how we are and it's affecting us. Who's Selassie? He spoke on that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But what about fatherless homes though? If it's not,
yeah, so
I'm
that's
just
what,
saying,
that ain't got to do with having a fatherless home. If you're out there committing crimes and doing that sort of thing, that ain't got shit to do with. Oh, it's just because you don't.
You're talking about food though. If we're talking about food, for instance, in my house, anecdotally, if I'm traveling for work, they eat out. If I'm home, my wife makes sure to cook because I'm home.
That's a fact.
So what if they were all dads in all these houses? Would they be eating better? Something just as simple as that. If you want to focus on food.
Yeah, but okay. So then I would ask you, then, what is your definition of eating better?
I think home cooked meals, right? Because you can somewhat control what's in it. If you believe in the organic products that are in the store, if you know who's cooking it with what hands and what ingredients. Because if you're saying that the chicken spot that we literally make them wealthy is trying to kill us, if we cook the chicken at home, then maybe we won't be killed.
Okay, and so that's where so then I take it a step further because it's like even down to like the seasonings that we use and fried foods and all that shit. I'm taking it a step further. So that's no, and I'm not saying like having a home cooked meal is terrible. It's obviously better than something like a bunch of snacks. But again, it goes back to the same equation. That doesn't necessarily equate to a healthy diet.
Well, cute, but it's better than the fast food for sure, which is the argument.
Right. But it still doesn't guarantee that your kid won't grow up to be a fuck up. There's more to it than that.
You can't guarantee anything, but I think to not focus on fathers and to say he said some smart dumb shit. I don't know if we heard what he said. Maybe I need to play it again.
Yeah, I think because a lot of smart dumb shit. But
I heard it. I'm just not sold on it. I'm not sold on it because I still know people that live in the projects. I'm 30 years removed, and they raising their kids in the same projects that we came up in when we was kids, with a dad in the house. So you put this kid in the same environment that you came up in, right? Now he got all his friends in his little community per se, right? And they could come up together. But in the same token, they coming up together, they practically brothers and sisters, right? But they still end up killing each other because all they know is that little, 2-block radius or 3-block radius. That's all they know. You know what I'm saying? They coming back and forth to that shit every day. School, projects, school, projects, school, projects, church, projects, church, projects. That's all they know. With a dad in the house. Mom and dad never thought to move out of the fucking projects because that's all they knew.
But I think that comes from exposure too. Like, we are the company that we keep, and exposure is important. But when I heard him talking, I hear Q on the dumb smart thing, but the thing that I was stuck on what he was saying is that the lack of nuclear families, and I think we need to acknowledge that in today's society, the traditional family looks different. It's no longer just the mom and the dad and they're married, right? 40% of people, per the stats that I had shared in the chat, as of 2019, were born out of wedlock, right? So the traditional homes look different. It is not just mom and dad. Sometimes it's 2 moms. Sometimes it's 2 dads. We're going back to the aunt, or women are choosing to raise their children on their own, right? So I think that changes the dynamic of it. I think there's a balance that is needed when the father is present in the home. And we had this conversation some weeks ago about the statistics and saying that would a child be better off if they were raised by their father? The statistics were showing, at least the ones that Hamp was saying, was that those who don't have fathers in the home They're more likely to go to jail. They're more likely to live in poverty and all of these other things. So it's a matter of, we have to take some accountability, and where's the truth in that? We can't just think about in our own circle and then the people that we know. We can't just think about that. Exposure plays a huge key, to Bob's point. And then also, I think having the structure in the family on a day-to-day basis makes a huge difference.
I'm tired of us getting blamed for shit, yo. Word. I'm tired of that shit.
My thing is with the situation, it's like with these fatherless homes, it does seem like, you know, fathers are consistently getting blamed. But it's like on one end, we talk about these fatherless homes are creating these criminals, but then these fatherless homes are creating these beta men. So it's like, are you a bitch or are you out here killing people? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't add up to me. Like, you know, it just doesn't add up completely, because you can't, if, you know, we talked about having, you know, gay sons because of fatherless homes, having beta sons because fatherless homes, having criminals because of fatherless homes. Like, and it's like, and I don't really agree with the fact that from what I heard, he stated that most homicides are committed by Black people. I don't know if that's valid now in 2023.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it. I know the rates for white people killing people have went up a lot.
Yeah, Black people kill the most in the country per capita. So per our percentage, we overrepresent in violent crime. So we're 14% of the population, but I think we're at 30% of the violent crime. And he's saying you bring that back to these kids not having fathers, and that is the consistent common denominator. That was his premise.
But I also think that economics can be argued for some of the same facts, that it can be just as consistent as not having a father in the home. Because if you take the same motherless household in the hood and compare it to, a fatherless household in the hood and compare it to a fatherless household that's middle class, the outcomes are going to be totally different.
But how do you achieve, the quickest way to wealth is marriage. So it still correlates back. If a woman is doing it by herself, she's more likely to be in poverty.
I don't know, because I know a lot of, and maybe it's just my circle, I know a lot of single moms who aren't in poverty.
But you know a lot that are too. If all you gotta do is think, I guarantee you could say 4 or 5 names right now. Because the car payment that's the only thing they got to pay for if they living on Section 8, and that car payment $800 a month. That nice car don't mean they doing good. That mean they got a nice car that they overpaying for, and that's what happens.
But that goes back to what Bub was saying, like the same people living in the hood, generational cycles of them living in the hood, different generations still in the same apartment. Those are the families that are killing each other in the hood, and I think it's more poverty. I know people who are on Section 8 who work there. They go to work and maintain their hours so that they can continue to be on Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to forever be in those projects, and they're forever going to be in a poverty mindset. And in those communities, there is a lot of murders there, so I think it's more.
What about the fathers though?
Yeah, right.
Because you wouldn't qualify if you had 2 incomes.
Right.
Some of the fathers are in the home and just not on the lease hand.
Some ain't an answer. And then what happens is, if you can't be on a lease and you leaning on a woman to make sure she stays on Section 8, what kind of man are you in the first place? That leans back to Mary's point.
And I believe those are the men that are committing the murders, the men that are going to jail, the men that had those IEP plans.
Right.
Okay.
So,
and they raised. Go ahead.
I'm saying, and who are those kids following after? Who are those kids identifying with? Those type of dudes, which then the cycle repeats itself, because your lack of fathers are very poor ones.
So we got a couple of we got a few super chats. Savage was popping, so he corrected me on the stat. We commit 51% of violent crime.
That's a lot.
That is overwhelming.
Right.
G Firm with a $10 super chat. I love you, Q, but we aren't forced to eat improper or put anything in our mouth by accident. The reason these fast food spots exist in our hoods is because we break bread with them. Savage Red Recovery with the $2 super chat. Everyone has McDonald's. Larry Elder, Savage said he's quoting Obama. And then he said I was on my Mary shit with my internet. It ain't raining too much in Houston, Savage, so I don't got no excuse. Damn,
shout out
man.
to Savage too, man. Shout out to Savage.
Yeah, word. So same. We're gonna keep it going because this is a good convo. So let me ask this question. I'm gonna take the super chat down too. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. So we having a conversation, right? True or false? Single mothers are maintaining children but not raising them. Whatever your answer is, you are why not? Because I was contemplating this. I think that the moms trying their hardest, but if you gotta work and you gotta play both roles, and we know you guys generally get paid less, how many more hours you gotta work? I know some of my friends, they moms were like CNA or something like that. They work overtime after overtime after overtime at night, and we just be together outside chilling. The kids damn near raising themselves, but they'll buy them school clothes. They make sure they got food, and they just maintaining the kids, but are they raising the kids? So I would venture to say this statement is true.
I say it's true.
I'm gonna say it's true. I don't want to discredit the mom and say they're not raising them, but I don't think it's a bit different with the dads, yo. It just is. And I give my son as an example. Yesterday, my son I'm talking about wilding, like shit that he bit his sister and pulled her hair, and was like wilding. He would never try no shit like that at the crib. So when I talk to him, he'd tell you, your father coming over, everything straight after that, ain't no issues. Like, it's just a different, the presence, the male presence in the home just makes it a lot different. I think the raising part comes with like the lessons we instill. Like if you ask your kids, like, what's the most important lesson mom taught you? What's the most important lesson dad taught you? I bet that the answer is pretty significant. It's pretty significantly different.
I played a video back in a few months back. This lady was just going over the stats. The results for children are the same, or damn near the same, for single father homes and then a dual parent home.
And significantly different for moms, right? Significantly
different for single mother home. The results are similar for the man-led and then a couple, and then the negative results increase when it's only a mom. So that's why this question popped in my head. I mean, shout out to Chief. I got all his questions up here, but this one popped in my head.
And is that relative to gender? Like, it doesn't matter. It's just kids in general. Was it like it
was just kids in general? When the lady was saying it, I was trying to look. And we got smart people in the chat, so we'll get some feedback for sure.
Ladies, do y'all agree with that or no?
I agree. And that's just based off of my own experience. I feel like I have become, because, with my first son, I was a single mom. So me now with my husband, I feel like I have been such a better mother because I've had the time and space to do so. You know what I'm saying? So even it shows within my son, and of course I got our daughter and then our kids combined, it's gave me more time to be able to focus on that, to be able to have him understand that it's just not the material things, because kids get that mixed up a lot too. I struggle with that, with the material things, and him just, being young and wanting the shoes, the clothes, all of that stuff, and being content with it. And him, learning most of his basics from school, never had an issue in school, but just that connection was never there. So now with having a husband, with my husband help even raise him, my first son, it's a completely different atmosphere. So I do genuinely believe that.
Yeah. Real Bravado with the $2 super chat. Wash, rinse, repeat. I'm trying to see what he referencing. And then, now this is where the skill of listening is very important. Hemp, there's no such thing as playing both roles. Mom can't be both mom and dad. That's a cute-ish talking point. But Bravado, I was making the point that she cannot do it, but they're trying their best to do everything in a house led by themselves. And therefore, those is where these poor results come from. So
Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
but yeah, man. What you think? What you think, Alex?
I would say true. And I'm just saying it, watching from the outside looking in now with my friend who's going through a divorce. And she says it all the time. Like, I feel like right now my focus is just making sure that they're fed, they got clothes on their back, and that we're getting up and going to school, and we're doing it over again the next day. She doesn't have time to have a breather. She doesn't have time to, really nurture them. And there's a difference when she has help. So when we go down there, we do help. She's like, I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I can be a better mother. But then I also think back to Isha's point when she said about economics. That plays a big role too. I think in the single parenthood realm of things, if you have to work 2 and 3 jobs, you don't have time to, truly nurture your child the way that you do. I would imagine that for people who are a little bit more well off, you can focus a little bit more, but that doesn't also give you the break that you need. Because I feel like all of your energy is going into just make sure that they're okay and you're putting all into them, and maybe you forget to take care of yourself, which in return, back in the cycle, burns you out as a parent. So I definitely think that, and I can see it being a matter of maintenance as opposed to I'm raising you.
I'm so glad you said that, Alex. And that's a difference with men and women too. We don't give a fuck about being burnt out and taking care of ourselves, right? We don't get the same coddling on the come up as y'all. So if we got to take care of kids, we gonna do whatever it is that needs to be done. And generally speaking, we don't feel sorry for ourselves while doing it.
And I think there's women who have that same mindset too. So on that question, there are women who shit got to get done. If it don't get done, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Like, I'm not thinking about taking a nap or resting or being burned out. It got to get done. I'm a single mom. I guess my situation is a little bit unique because I have, I work from home. So I'm able to have the flexibility that I need. If I need to pull up at my son's school at any given time, I can pull up at his school. He can come home and get a cooked meal, and his clothes is always washed.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, that's a unique situation because I work from home. When I did work for CPS, it was a little bit stressful, and I felt like I wasn't being a good mom. So I made the decision to get a job where it allowed me to work from home so I can be a better mom.
Why are you addressing what I said to Alex?
The question about single mom not being able to raise their children and just maintaining them. I think you can raise your children and still be a single mom.
Isha, you answering questions like you talking to other regular people. You saying can and some and I like, come on, man. That's not even real answers. You acting, come on. I need to start. I'm gonna change your name.
How old is your son?
He's 14.
Yes, does your son know how to cook?
Yeah, he does.
All right, I'm happy you said that. Right, so let me hop in this shit real quick. The reason why I said true, right, is because I equated to, basically, the way me and my siblings was raised, right? Imagine being 6 and 7, right? 6 and 7. You already know how to cook. You already know how to wash clothes. You know what mommy talking about when she say don't answer that phone and don't open the door for nobody, right? And this is all because she at work all goddamn day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she pretty much, you pretty much left to like fend. Yeah. Exactly. Fend for yourselves. I'm gonna give you enough knowledge. You ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get that many hugs, kisses, and I love yous because I'm gonna be at fucking work. But I'm gonna go grocery shopping once a week. Make sure y'all got food while I'm at work, and I'm gonna teach you how to cook this food so you won't be hungry
while I'm at work.
While I'm at work, and I'm gonna teach you how to protect yourself while I'm at work by not answering the fucking door and the phone, so no predators are coming. You know what I'm saying, take it.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
You feel me?
Shit like that.
That was hey Bub. That came up with that.
Word.
God damn. Go ahead, Ish.
I mean, I see things like that all the time, where I see people working like doubles and triples and just providing for their kids, and kids got everything. I don't know. I guess I made a conscious decision, like that's not the type of mom I want to be. So I put myself in a position where I was never that type of mom.
But Ish, if you reflect back on when you was putting yourself in position, even when we was on the pod a year ago, you had no energy.
That's why I got a different job.
I know, but that's the you was busting your ass, no question. I mean, real shit. You already born.
But it wasn't because I needed the money, because the money was there. It was because the demands of the job.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the difference. Some people can't be home with their children because they have to work so they can pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't my situation.
But regardless of what the situation was, she was still gone.
But
whatever the need was.
Years. It took you 14 years to be in the space that you could be in now.
Absolutely not. I had my son when I was 25. I've never been the type of person. I already had my degrees and stuff before I had my son. So I was never the person who worked all those jobs. That's why I said economics plays a big role in this.
No, but I'm saying just working, even if you worked one job, like working more and raising less. I'm not going to say raising not
flexibility.
I'm just saying working more and raising less. You know what I'm saying? Like now, yes, you're in that position, but now he's a teenager. He's 14. Not saying that it stops, because it doesn't. But it's like during that time where he may have needed it the most, like you weren't able to provide that at that time.
I'm not understanding. I guess I'm not, because that was never my situation. He was never left alone or anything like that. But then
without you.
I can't say that again.
It's not about being left alone, it's being left without you.
Okay.
I mean, everybody works to get to a particular place. I mean,
right.
It just is, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, like, for instance, we just had the kids. My wife can stay home, which could be seemingly more impactful to a kid, especially during the years of development. Mm-hmm. Alex, you were saying something. Your mic is terrible. Go ahead.
Sorry, y'all. No, I was saying, I think what Mary was saying is that Isha has worked up to a point where, like, yes, you've only, you got your degrees, you went to school and all the other stuff, but now you have flexibility in your job to where you said, I can go and get him from school, I can do this. And it takes a while to get there. But I love what Bub said about, you learned you taught your kid, like, how to cook, how to do this, that, and third. It was survival mode. You were raised on survival. Yeah. Because mom doesn't have time to come home and make the meals and all this other stuff. So if I don't teach you now all the essentials to keep you alive, it's going to be a problem. So people were raised on survival.
Yeah, that's real. Let me get Q in. Let me just read these super chats real quick. G Firm. Did it pop up yet? G Firm with the $5 super chat. If you have a high school diploma, skilled trade, and clean criminal record, you can kiss the hood goodbye. It doesn't take much. Living testimony. I think Savage's is similar. Savage with the 20 ball. My grandparents grew up in Wyndham Projects. My dad had me in the projects too. They saved up so we can move to a trailer. We lived there for a couple years and bought a house. We have to stop. People don't want to sacrifice. One more. Savage with the $5. Let's not lie. These are not 1930s women. Women today are selfish. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, I know Savage gonna eat and throw mad bread at us after I'm done speaking on this, but I'm gonna have to disagree with the entire panel and say false. Or unless anybody else said false, then I agree with y'all. The reason I'm saying false is because I think that we're talking about single mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when I'm thinking about single moms, I'm also considering single dads. And I don't think that anybody raising children, quote unquote, raising children in a single way is doing any better than the other party. The reason that I say that is because I think that everybody has a particular role that they function in. So when you look at single dads, a lot of times they try not to stay single long because they can't do a good job doing their job as a single dad, raising those kids. Any man disagree with that?
Of course.
Okay.
It's unfounded.
Right. So you understand that struggle because at that point, all you're doing is maintaining the child.
What I'm saying is what you're saying, they hurry up and find a wife is unfounded. Where'd you get that from?
What do you mean?
Like, what are you saying? They rush to find a wife because they can't do it. Who told you? Where'd you get that information?
Is there any single men on the panel raising
Chief?
children as a single man?
Chief.
But you have them all the time, Chief?
Majority of them.
All the time?
No.
Because majority is like saying some.
It's greater than 50%.
Okay,
No,
but
majority is majority.
But it's not all the time.
No, it's not all the time.
All right, so you're not included in what I'm saying. So any single fathers on the panel who have the children all the time, the way because you know what the fuck you're talking about when you're talking about a single mom. So I'm talking about a single dad.
Yeah.
Men are not built for that.
But you can't. What I'm saying, what we just said, is the stats do not back that up. So why are you just
you know how I
speaking?
feel about stats? Yeah. You know
I know, but why you
just do is support shit with stats because it's like, let's just say whatever and then put a stat with it. But I'm talking about just now, if we was to say single dads, right? And then Chief raised his hand and y'all was about to go along with it. That's who be in them stats. But I'm not talking about stats. I'm talking about the reality. Men are not built to raise children by themselves. Right?
The argument is men are more well equipped than women to raise children by themselves. And that's what statistics support.
So no, fuck. Okay, so we having two different conversations because I'm not gonna go with that statistical shit.
We're having the same conversation. You don't want to acknowledge the numbers.
But they're always flawed, him. The numbers.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm gonna let you write out. What I'm saying is, you agree we are having the same conversation. You are refuting the numbers though to back up the fact that single fathers do better than single mothers.
I doubt it. And this is just my observation. That's the only thing I typically speak from.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in your statement, Q. You don't agree with Hamp saying that men are better equipped to be single parents than women are?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I think women have this tendency to have a lot more. How can I say it? Drive. A woman will like run herself into the ground to make sure that she can do her best to raise those children. I don't see men function at that level. Niggas get a fucking headache and it's like they got fucking COVID 2020. Like,
how do you know?
I don't know if I agree with that, Q.
Are y'all serious?
Yeah. Q, you're not even around enough men for that.
I don't agree with that, Q.
Y'all cannot agree with it. So like I'm saying, niggas can't even handle a fucking headache in comparison to most women. So that woman, she's gonna go hard. She might not be complete and whole in that. And I'm not saying that women should be raising children alone, but comparing a man raising kids as a single father to a woman raising kids as a single mom, like there ain't no fucking comparison there.
Cute.
But let me finish. Y'all gonna let me land. Y'all gonna let me land. When it comes to raising, right? I believe it was one of you niggas that said a woman can raise a child, right? She can raise a boy. We talking about definition. She can bring him up and carry him through, but she can't make him into a man. Am I correct?
No, you're wrong.
Bullshit. Run the tape back.
What I'm saying is, well, you just been wrong generally, right? because it's outcomes. Q. See, you want to ignore the outcome and bring it on and blame it on fried chicken. But the outcomes from these single mother-led homes are the outcomes. So you have to weigh in on the actual outcomes, not what you think, because that gets a little scary. It gets a little sketchy.
No,
And then
if you look
hold
at
on now. I'll let you land right.
no, you didn't. If you look at the question that's strolling, single mothers are maintaining children but not raising them. That's a cute tagline, right? But if we answer that question truthfully, yes, they are. If you look at what raising is, they're carrying them through. They are still teaching them things. Is that not what you're implying that the men do too?
Yeah, the
Is
men do.
did any of y'all say your mother never or any guys who were raised by a single mom? Can you say your mother never taught you a goddamn thing?
Did you hear what Bub said earlier? So he
Okay,
said, yeah, they were maintained, right? They made sure they were fed and clothed and had clean clothes and things of that nature. But hold on, I don't want to go off on the point that you said that was 100% false. Women push harder than men. Look at the jobs men do around the world. Women don't do those jobs. What?
yeah,
Hold on,
he's
you
talking about
can't.
jobs
Now
now.
here's where you start to fail. You start to discount everything that's making sense because it doesn't align. Men do hard jobs. Now that I'm in Texas, I'm getting perspective on these oil fields. It's 100% men, even the engineers in the office, just in case something hits the fan.
You're right. And then after
Men,
that, they're not able to keep up with that household at that same level, which is why they need the woman to back them.
however,
If-
because you're gonna ignore the numbers, but there's a bunch of people watching and a bunch of people listening. We're not gonna allow that
and they
point to
all
land
agree
without bringing
with
in
you.
the statistics.
So, fuck them niggas. Get
So
somebody on.
what I'm saying is the results, the outcomes for those children led by single father-led homes are the same as a nuclear family, and those results are better. You can't ignore that. It's disingenuous to do so. Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, you're only gonna back that shit that you're saying with numbers. I'm talking about real shit. Niggas is not equipped to keep pushing once they get home like the women do.
I
They're
feel like
not.
I feel like
Those single
that's not I feel like that's not valid. Like I can see your perspective of it, but I feel like because we're looking at it as how men react with a woman in a home, because 9 times out of 10 you're not seeing how a man operates when a woman is not in a home, because that's him by himself. I've seen men do the damn thing as single fathers by themselves, not looking for a woman, not doing none of that, because that's what they have to do. Now when a woman is involved, yes, I can't handle a headache, yes, I can't feed myself, yes, I don't know how to cook, yes, I can't do my laundry. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman is present. Yes, I can't do it by myself because I have the option not to. But when you see a man fully operate as a man and a father by himself, he can do it.
while
And
also doing those same jobs that Hamp was talking about. So we work those same hard jobs and come home and do the same shit. The same work is done with or without women in the home.
Do you think that the statistics are different because of discipline? That the man provides the discipline, or is because he's raising the children?
Discipline.
Mhm.
Yeah, discipline.
Right. So again, it has nothing to do with raising them then. So that's a whole different question, right? Or am I wrong? Should the wording say, are men better disciplinarians in the household than women?
Well, no, Isha
Or
just
single
brought. Isha just said we having a conversation, right? The question is going to say what the question says, but if we go off on a tangent from the question, we just going to have a different conversation about a different question.
But I think it's because men discipline the children more than a woman, and that's why they're more better behaved. I don't think that men are raising these children, because if you work long hours, Ham, so how would you be able to be a single dad?
It would be tough.
It would be like Bub's situation. And I think most men work long, hard hours. Just thinking about my stepdad, like he works like 20 hours a day. So if he was a single dad, how would that be better than my mom being a single mom? The only thing that he provided was discipline.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, can I finish my point, my original point? I think typically women's role don't change even when they get with somebody. The raising that they doing, they still raising. When the man comes in, he becomes the maintainer, right? Because y'all provide the finances mainly. Am I correct? And with the exception of discipline, your main role is to provide the finances and maintain that household, right? But that structure comes from her. Is that correct? The teachings come
No,
from her. Is that correct?
structure doesn't come from her.
Nah. And Mary probably could answer that
Hold
better
on.
than
Hold on.
anybody else.
Q. Hold on, bub. Let me get one thing straight. Q, are you thinking that we're supposed to answer the way you want?
No.
Or are you asking for genuine answers?
I don't, because I know you.
I didn't say anything. Bub said it.
Reactive. I know.
But when Bub said you rolled your neck in your eyes, you're acting like a girl. Why can't you listen to what he's saying and take it in?
Okay, but it doesn't seem like, all right, how can I say this?
Go
Do
ahead.
you guys feel like you maintain your household or that you do the raising?
Both.
For
But,
sure.
but why is the hesitation and then the
We thought about our answer before we answered.
because you capping. Y'all know y'all maintain that fucking household. Stop playing with me.
Can I read some
yo.
Let me read some super chat, and then Bub, you can jump in on this thing. She's an asshole. Growth in God podcast with the he sent 20, I think. Yeah, 2 and then 2, another 10. Let me see. So I think he may want us to read this. Bub, you want to read?
Yeah. Okay. Marriage is the first institution God established in the earth. Men and women are the foundation of family. Best success is found doing things God's way. We find failures most times disregarding God's way.
Okay.
Gave me the God one.
Yeah. That wasn't even on purpose.
Real bravado stay on your heels. Shout out to the Real Bravado Network.
It's like a love-hate relationship.
Find out you were starting to think Q was a professional gaslighter.
God.
I don't want to put that on you, Q, but
if the shoe fit. $5 G Firm was popping. All my life, I was raised by a single dad till age 12. I can speak to the experience. Maybe I should drop G Firm the link if he on camera.
So
G
with
Firm,
that,
let me know if you want. Huh?
With that experience, you think that at the age of 12 was enough to be raised by his dad? Like, I'm confused. I want to know like the difference between from 12 to where he's at now, and I guarantee he still operates off a lot of those lessons his dad taught him.
Yeah, 12 is significant. Hold on. Savage with the $5. Single fathers have better outcomes than single mothers. I didn't finish school. 2-time felon, over 200,000 a year. Women are lazy in all parts of life.
Wow.
Damn.
Tell me how you feel about women without telling me. God.
Last one, Alex, then you can jump in. $5, King. Oh shit. Savage.
Damn,
King
Savage.
Kong, Young Thug, Dirt, FBG Duck, all single mothers.
Wow.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was just saying the comment when he was talking about being raised by his dad until 12, and made me think of Boys in the Hood. When after he got to a certain age, his mom was just like, "Nah, you got to go stay with your dad because I can't teach you how to be a man." So I'm always curious to know for those people who maybe been in that situation, like what that experience is like. Do you think your life would have turned out differently if you had continued to go through your teenage years with your mother versus with your father? Like, is there a difference that they experience?
Let's get B. B, welcome. What's popping?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Bruh.
What's good, man? We ain't see you in a grit, bro. Everything's everything.
I'm a little stressed, but I'm gonna be all right. Don't take managerial roles.
Don't take managerial roles. Chief, what'd you say?
He said he's gonna be all right. I said, yes, you are.
I know I'm gonna be all right.
So did you hear Alex's inquiry?
All I heard was Boys in the Hood. Just repeat it again, Alex. I'm sorry.
Concise though, Alex, please.
I was speaking to how in Boys in the Hood, when he got to be a certain age, his mother had him go live with his father. And she was saying, because I can't teach you how to be a man. Someone in the chat had said they were raised by their father until they're 12. So my question was, do you think it would have been a different experience if once boys become a certain age or people become a certain age, would there be a difference in their experience? Will their life have turned out different if they were raised by their father at a particular point on? Let's just say from teenage years on.
I would just take the age out of it. I believe my life would have turned out differently had I been raised by a mother and father from birth till whatever, 18, 19, 20, whatever. I mean, I believe my outcome would have been drastically different. I would say though, me not having a father, it didn't affect me till I was like 28, 29. Around the same time I had met Hamp, believe it or not, that's when the toll had came upon me from having not been raised by a father. And I do believe that had I been raised by a man, that there are certain things I would have known how to deal with in life to this very day. And I don't believe that a woman can raise a man into a man. I look at my situation. My mother, she did the best that she could with the resources that she had. And she, you know, she raised me the best that she could. I still look back at my life compared to others who was raised by single mothers in my neighborhood, and I turned out better than majority of them. My mother, she's a no nonsense lady. She is a disciplinarian. She's very direct, very straight to the point, no BS, and a lot of that I did inherit from her. But there are certain things that a man needs in life that I believe only a man can teach him. And because I didn't have that in my life, I learned that at a later age, which I do believe did affect me in life.
Negatively?
I would say negatively. And you know, lots of people know it's no secret I'm adopted. So one thing that I regret is my mother having adopted me and raised me in a home without a man being present. And we've had that discussion before, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I wish at times she didn't adopt me because there was no father in the home, and it did affect me negatively as a result of that male figure not being present in the home.
Mm. So you don't think that not having been in an adopted family could have been potentially worse for you? You think you'd have been better off?
You saying had I not been adopted?
Yeah, you think you'd have been better off not being adopted?
Been worse off. I mean, foster care, orphanages.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, given the circumstances you were in.
And again, I know that's very harsh or whatever to say, but again, if I'm just keeping it real, if I could go back to 1991 when I was adopted, I wish it would have been in a 2-parent household. But I mean, again, that's just me. And I'm thankful that me and my mother, we've been able to have those talks. But if I'm keeping it real, wish she did have a male present in the household. Now, my mother, she moved from South Carolina to New York. She had divorced her husband. So as a result, that's why she became a single mother. But again, like I said, I wish the male figure was present in the home. And I also look at I look at, you know, men in my family, my nephew. He got married when he was 20 something, and I look at his son. You know, he's now a cop in New York. I just see how he was able to raise him into being a man. And then I look at my nephew, his father, who was my ex-brother-in-law before him and my sister got divorced. I look at the man that he is, being able to fix on things, being able to, you know, talk to women, stuff like that. I never had someone in life to teach me those things. I never had that in life. You know, I never had someone to teach me something, to teach me cars. You know, I didn't learn how to tie a tie till I was, 26. Never had someone to teach me. A lot of stuff I've learned that I know now, I learned from Google. There's only certain things that a man can teach a man.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. Fuck, there you go. Savage with a $5 super chat. Is it up yet? There you go. Men don't have to work so hard when they don't have a woman. You women blow money on stuff that's not needed. Great. G Firm with the $10 super chat. The older you get, the less patience mothers have. With dads, the older you get, the more patience they have. As a teen, when I messed up, me and my dad had a conversation. My mom just slapped me in the face. Damn.
There's that. There's also
Interesting.
That might be. That. Will with $10 super chat. Support Q's point about the validity of statistics. The sample size of single father households is relatively low. Therefore, there's a possibility the data could be skewed. Savage with the $2. Q's penis envy is coming out. I'm gonna have to drop this nigga the link.
Savage, you out here wilding.
Savage with the $5. Women are more likely to abuse children. Women more likely to end kids and elderly. What? Man.
Bruh.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at Will's comment, but I'll let it ride. All right, question. I was thinking about this. I don't know. We know black women are getting the most degrees, most enrolled in the country. But is this a byproduct of fatherlessness? It's almost as good as Bub's last answer. Is this a byproduct of fatherlessness? Because I was thinking, right, that independent woman and yada, yada, yada.
It is. Because men have done such a shitty job representing themselves as fathers, women have become more inclined to get their own. I mean, it's not. It's again, some desire to just be the boss and do what they do. You might have that initial that desire, but I think they're just preparing themselves, just because, for lack of a better term, niggas ain't shit.
Speaking for myself, I would say yes. My mother, and I hate to say it, but
she got her shit on whisper, man.
Y'all really can't hear me?
Nah, get it together over there, Alex.
You just
put some of your lip gloss on the mic.
How about now?
No,
better?
Ain't no better.
No, she trying to yell, man. This shit is.
God, I'm sorry. Speaking for myself, I would say yes. Coming from a line of, and I hate to say it this way, of baby mothers and single moms, like I'm third generation of that. I was taught you go to school so that you don't have to depend on me. But then also that is in combination with being a black woman in the field that I'm in. Having my bachelor's was nothing. Being in the area that I'm in, I had to do more. I think white women and women of other ethnic backgrounds, they're taught to, you can go to school and that's fine, but when you go to college, you need to make sure that you come out with your husband and you get yourself a man that's going to be able to afford all the things for you, so that you don't have to. Like, having your degree is cute. However, you should be aiming to get with someone who has money, who can financially take care of you. But I think for me as a black woman, I was taught that you have to be able to depend on yourself outside of a man. Love and marriage and all the other stuff, that can come later. And I think that's why so many of us as black women, we have all of the tools, but when we are finally ready to settle down, we are a lot older because we've gone to school, we've made our money, we've stacked it, and now we're like, okay, now I can go ahead and focus on a relationship and a partner.
And do you find it to be problematic?
I think so. Yes, I'm on the fence about it. I mean, I'm all about independence, but then again, that's me just coming from a space of I don't want to have to depend on a man. I look at some of my other women who, when they do get a divorce or something happens, or when the bag stops for their man, they don't know what to do because they've been so dependent on the needs or what the man brings to the table that they don't know how to function outside of them.
How long you been married?
I've been married. Tomorrow will be 4 years, but we've been together 11 years.
So how old have you been since you've been together?
22.
Huh?
22.
If you had to divide it up, who y'all did y'all buy the house?
No, we inherited the house.
Whose side?
My husband's side.
What independence are you talking about? You've
Even
been with the nigga for 11 years. You've been married for 4 years.
even with that, it's you have your own. Just in case anything happens, you have your own.
That's problematic too, huh?
I don't view it as that.
But it seems it feels to me slightly pessimistic.
It's sad to say, and I know we shouldn't go into a situation thinking of the worst, but I've always been taught to have you a rainy day something. Always have a rainy day fund set up. Always have your backup plan just in case plan A doesn't work out. That you have your own, that you can move if you need to move. And that just comes off of being raised by survival. That comes from being raised by a single mother who was raised by a single mother who was raised by a single mother.
Yeah. No, that's
I hate that, Alex. And we spoke about that in the past. I hate that.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but it's true though.
Damn.
That shit just reads to me like you got together to break up. Like you have zero faith in a relationship. To me,
Yeah, I hate it so much.
But then also too, my husband was also raised by a single mother. After a while, like when his parents split up, and you have your own. So we were both coming from the realm
But
of,
how old was he though?
he was 14 when they split up.
I think that's significant though. If he had daddy until he was 14, his dad disappeared, like he went up in smoke, or he was just not in the house.
Just not in the house. They were married, but he was never consistently in the house.
But check this out, though, Alex. I'm sure your husband doesn't have an exit plan or a plan B.
No.
You guys got a prenup? You guys got a prenup?
No, but it's funny that
exactly.
But no,
exactly.
but listen.
Wow.
I say that is why when we first got married, it was a struggle for me. It was a struggle for me to like be completely dependent on him. I'm now learning just now being pregnant, where I'm like, okay, you can't be independent all the time. Like you have to just let him do it. And it is a struggle. Even though
Why did it take so long though, Alex?
Well, now I don't have a choice.
Damn.
Bruh.
Now I don't have a choice. And it's sad that it took that long, but that is the reality for a lot of people. I know so many women who are married, Black women who are married, and even though their husband can afford whatever the case is, if he decides he's going to go and he's going to dip or whatever the case is, I still got to be able to fend for myself. I'm not dependent on him. I am a get it by any means. It took me years to ask him for something. I would do without. And he would get so mad and just be like, why you just don't ask for it? Because I don't want to.
Because, Alex, he loves you unconditionally. This dude brought you into his family's home. Right?
And it's not right.
He married you. He married you, Alex. Without a prenup.
Right.
And
but
now
I've been
you want to have his seed.
But I've been candid in saying like that was a struggle for me in having that fatherless home and being in a situation where I never saw a marriage or what a healthy relationship looked like. I had to learn like, yo, it's okay. And even having conversations with my mom now, I'm like, I think she talks so down about marriage. I said, because you never saw the benefit of it. The marriage that she did see was abusive. It was toxic, right? So for me, it was, I had no vision of like, what it should be, what it should look like. It was a learning curve, complete learning curve. And I didn't move in with him until we got engaged. So we never been living together this whole time.
Wow.
Hey, I appreciate your candor, Alex, but that shit is crazy, man. Like this is what it and that's always I always try to say. I think women are largely fear-based because all you said is I just was thinking this.
This nigga's scared.
Like
no, it's real. I was literally having the conversation the other day, and I was just like, it took for me to become pregnant now, for me to just, and he's always taking care of me, but me to just really fully surrender and be like, yo, okay. And now it's weird. Like I come home the other day and I wanted something and it was just there and he took care of it. And I'm over here stressing because I'm a person, I won't ask for help. And now he's picking up with me just like, I know she's not going to ask for it, so let me just do. But it took all the time for me to get there. And he's a great person. He's always, I don't have to lift a finger, but it took for me now to be like, it's okay to let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
It's 11 years, Alex.
I know, but it's on me. I can own that though. I can own that.
You owned it. Damn, Alex.
Facebook.
So you wholeheartedly agree with the statement then. Yeah, man. I gotta check on him when I get up there.
Don't do that.
For real, man. Damn. So you 100% agree.
For myself, yes.
Well, what you think for the masses though?
For black, yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
Well, Q, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're saying black women are the most enrolled, meaning in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, gotta disagree.
They're not the most enrolled. Wait, disagree on what part?
That black women being the most enrolled is due to fatherlessness.
Okay.
Because I would like to think that most women that are in college do have fathers. When we talk about other cultures and how much better their cultures are in comparison to black culture, a lot of times those cultures have their women in college, have their daughters in college. I hear African people all the time say how important it is how their fathers encourage them to go to school.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is you're answering though. It's specifically black women here.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about all women? That's not what we're talking about.
So again, to answer the question, I don't think that it's due to fatherlessness so that's part of my point. Because most women who are in college do have fathers. So that's it. Does that make a little bit of sense?
I don't know. I caught a lot of bodies in college and they didn't have dads. Right, Chief?
That could be a fact, but I don't think that they went.
And you went to a black college,
So I agree with that sentiment, Hamp,
Mm-hmm.
because it definitely caught a lot of bodies in college. But I'm also looking at it from Q's perspective. Like, I absolutely want my daughter to be in college. So
I agree.
I see. I kind of see where she's coming from.
Yeah, I don't think that it's due to fatherlessness. So it's that second part, or the byproduct of. So it's that second part that I think you guys are missing.
Nah, I don't want my daughter to be in college. I don't give a fuck about college.
Okay, but again, I don't think that black women are being the most enrolled is the byproduct of fatherlessness.
The reason why I said I think, because this is a genuine question, and I was analyzing it, Alex's answer kind of like helped me get to my answer because of the streak of independence, not wanting to have to depend on nobody, not seeing it growing up where their mom had a shoulder to lean on. So now they're hearing all the mammies say, get yours, do your own shit, don't depend on no man. And so that's what's being perpetuated. And then hence you got the example of all these black women going to college to getting these degrees that really they don't even pay well. That's the logic I employ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still stand on my answer, but y'all go ahead.
Isha?
I'm gonna have to ride with Alex on this one. I definitely believe that a lot of black women, it is a byproduct of being fatherless. I had a father figure in my life, but my father wasn't there. So my biggest thing was like, I'm gonna make it without him regardless, and he's gonna see that I was okay. And also, I don't want to have to depend on me. So definitely agree with Alex.
Let me get a couple super chats real quick. Can I see it yet? This computer slow as shit. Savage with the $5. No, feminism changed the laws and women used the laws against men. Before the 40s and 50s, men got custody of their kids from divorce. After that, women got it. Savage, men keep a chick on the side just in case it doesn't work out. Damn, I wonder if the chick on the side is synonymous with the money in the bank just in case.
Absolutely.
John the Baptist with the $10 super chat. Women's education is directly due to feminism and a byproduct of the baby boomer moms teaching against marriage and promoting this foolishness. Don't depend on a man. G Firm with the $5. To Alex's point, sounds to me men design prenups and women design postnups. Just in case. Wink, wink. Savage with the $5. If I was your husband and I seen this stream, I would divorce you, rebuild so you can't take me for more.
You talking to Alex?
Yeah.
Yo.
Bruh.
Alex be wildin', yo.
Yo, Mike Brown, congratulations. Al, you just finding out? You don't even be paying attention, man. He just be logged in.
Definitely declared that months ago.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Real Bravado with the $10. The women of Alex passed. The women of Alex passed on their fear and trauma. Oh, passed on their fear and trauma to her, and she has had taken on fear that it seems she's never experienced directly. That's okay. Those two generations owe you ladies an apology. Yo, that
was Real Bravado.
That was a nugget. That was a nugget right there for sure.
Hey, Bravado, man, you said something. John the Baptist with the $5. If a woman says she doesn't have another choice, she's also saying, if I could see another option, she wouldn't change. G Firm with the $5. In my opinion, our sisters being most enrolled is an alternative to not being married. It almost serves as a substitute when asked, why aren't you married? That's kind of what. Go ahead. What'd you say?
No, go ahead. I think I'll get my answer when you say what you're gonna say.
Well, no, I was just thinking because me and Adrian was talking about that last week, like how marriage and a man has to be on that path to success. When women paint that path for themselves, they think in school is the path to success, and getting in a career is a path to success. Go ahead, Chief.
No, that was it. Never mind. I'm good.
Last word on this one. It was interesting though. Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Alex, man. It took her 11 years, but now she finally
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit.
She did now.
Yeah, she finally gonna ask her husband for something.
Yeah, good shit, Alex. You did now. You did now.
Oh, Alex, man, hold this. 14.
Who's that man?
Alex wildin', man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Damn, hey, y'all said some shit in them super chats, man. Damn, that's some shit I did not think about for sure. Okay, let's get into this one. Anybody can answer. And Chief, you gotta bring this in. Why was this one of the questions that you kind of conjured up?
Uh-oh.
What's been the greatest lesson learned from your father?
I think to my point earlier, when we were talking about women and men raising children, I think a lot of the lessons learned are attributed to the man in your life, not that or the more valuable ones. Maybe I could say, like for me, like in his absence, the biggest lesson for me was don't do that to your children.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like and that's huge for me. Like that was one of my main like I've always had a passion for kids, but like I have been determined that once I have kids, to never make them feel like that, to never have them experience that. So again, the lesson that he taught me was subconscious because he didn't teach it to me, but it was completely derived from his absence. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people carry those same things, whether they realize it or not.
So you say, I'm not carrying this on. You're not perpetuating this.
No, but even if you ask my daughter, like, what's the most important? Like, my daughter wrote down 3 things she had to do for class. Like, they asked her, what's the most important thing your dad taught you? And it was like to love myself, to be confident, and to like love my people. But it was like 3 pretty profound things for a 10-year-old to say at the time. You know what I'm saying? That shit felt good.
Yeah. Damn. So you learned what not to do.
Right. But it's still a lesson learned, no?
No, yeah, 100%. That's why when I read it at first, and then when you started talking, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's in a lot of different ways. Q, what say you? Greatest lesson learned from your father?
Shit. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That shit be like, damn, I gotta go.
Because you know what?
I ain't never seen Q scratch her head before.
Right. Shit.
Wow.
It gets deep, right? So the first time that I ever spoke to my dad was a week or 2 before he died.
Mm-hmm.
So that conversation was so intense, and the main thing that he wanted from me was forgiveness. And I guess the amount of courage that it took to be able to do that on your way out. And yet we live around people every day who will leave this world and never rectify things or apologize. So just him as, you know, being a stand-up guy in that way, I learned how to make things right. Like, I guess make things right with people. And
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So that is that something you carry with you to this day, Q?
Hell yeah.
Forgiveness. Like,
because of how he went about it. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna go too deep into the story, but it was like, it was a way that it was like it was meant to be. You know what I mean? He was supposed to die alone, and then how we ended up getting connected was crazy.
If I may, I don't know your backstory or nothing, but if I ask the same question, what's the greatest lesson you learned from your mom? You don't have to tell it, but do you think the lesson you learned from your father is more impactful than the one you learned from your mom? The greatest? No?
Okay. Because of her role in my life, and she's such a warrior. My mom she's a fucking bionic woman. Like, she's a 3-time cancer survivor. She's got, like, her story is so fucking incredible. Right, okay. Yeah, it doesn't compare. I think I'm very lucky that I had 2 great parents, even though my dad was absent, but he was absent for his own reasons, and clarified a lot of that on his way out. So it was like, all I could do was fucking respect it.
No doubt. Alex, you had both parents, right?
Yeah, they're both alive.
If you know what I'm saying, they were both part of your life though, growing up. Like, you had them both, everything was good, or no? No? Anybody on here? It's fucked up too.
That's black.
Yeah, word. That's fucked up too. I'm just curious to know, like, someone who was raised by both parents, just to see if that theory tests true. Like, the lessons you learned from both parents, which one do you believe at
the end? Yeah. So if I answer, I think they kind of run together a little bit, honestly, the lessons.
Well, the greatest lesson, if you had to answer, what was the greatest from your mom, the greatest from your dad, and just like, what do you think holds more weight in your life right now?
So from my mom, we have a similar attitude. Like, my mom, she talking about how many fights she been in. She don't take no shit. Like, you know, you know what I mean? Just so we have a similar, like, just being, you know what I mean? Like, quick tempered, kind of, you know.
Was that taught to you though? Is that like?
So that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Yeah, but my dad actually said, "Don't take no shit." You see what I mean? But when I reflect on them, I'm like, okay, I'm more similar to my mom. But the lesson, like, hey, don't take nothing from nobody, is probably just the greatest thing. But it doesn't always manifest in the violence. Right? It's like, I try things. I started a rap battle league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just do stuff. I ain't afraid to fail. You know what I'm saying? I'll try anything in terms of like business and put myself out there, or moving to DC. Shit, I came home 3 months later, I moved. Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Now I'm in
remember.
Yeah. You know, I was out. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, where you going ham? Damn. Word? Okay.
You know, like, I went to Springfield College, then I went to URI, then I transferred mid-semester and went to Elizabeth City. Like, fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? So that just always stayed. Or when we play ball, like, I think I played much bigger than what I am. You know what I'm saying? Just because I know I'm a win. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we go man to man, I know I'm a win. You know, now, of course, I got my ass beaten and lost a bunch of times, but when I get up there, I know I'm a win.
Every time.
Yeah, every time. Like, and we used to go against some, and I know I'm a win, period. You know, so I think just hearing that, you know, one time we got dropped off Sister Helen house. I couldn't stand going to that motherfucking house, man. Right? Because they was mean in real life, but they was nice at church. You feel me?
No words.
So we over there for a whole weekend. So the dad, he trying to tease me, right? So I'm like 7 years old. He trying to tease me. He get down on one knee. He's like, hit me then. Before he got the THE out, I punched him right in his mouth. As soon as he said, because that's what I always heard. Don't take no shit, period. You know, and this a Grom 7, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think that was probably, so I guess it like combined, you know, it kind of like came together, you know? So, yeah, man. What say you, Ish? Oh, go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
No, I was good.
What say you, Ish?
So for my stepfather, I would definitely say good work ethic. That man is just not a lazy man. He's just not like and for my mom, it's more of, my mom was, I would say, meek, very meek, submissive, just the definition of it, and that was her strength. So
Real shit. Nobody want to go to work with Isha stepdad or my dad. They be like, man, fuck them niggas, man. I'd rather be broke. They only do hard work. They don't do nothing the easy way. There'll be a machine over there that can pick up 20 pallets. You got to carry all 20 by hand over to the machine. What the fuck? I'm like, bro, this don't make no sense. Damn, man. What say you, Bob?
Yo, I'm gonna have to go with my dad as far as you know, what not to do, because I think my dad is the reason why, you know, I never dibbled and dabbled in narcotics. I never put my hands on women. I don't disrespect women. I don't use that B word, yo. I don't use that at all. That's just something I don't do. But the crazy shit is when it comes to being around family, I got that shit from my dad though. Cause my dad when my dad was around, you know what I'm saying, he used to pack us up and keep it pushing, and we would go visit family. My mom per se, you know, she wasn't really like that, you know what I'm saying? And also the fact that, you know, you know that old saying, if life give you lemonades, if life give you lemon, make lemonade, right? Like my dad, like I learned from my dad, yo, if you get knocked down, man, you got to get the fuck back up. Like my dad's problem was, yo, he got knocked down a lot, and he didn't really know how to get back up on his feet. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of made him like. It sound kind of fucked up if I call him a bad dad, but I feel like that's what kind of made him like a bad dad. Life was just beating it. Life was just fucking him up, and he didn't know how to get back up on his own too. You know what I'm saying? So,
but we're still trying to encourage you to do so.
Well, nah, he wasn't really encouraging me how to do so. I feel like he felt like, all right, well, if the kids with their mother, they straight, I don't really gotta do nothing. But he knew later on in life, you know, because my pops, he saw me. He got to witness my life when I was in my 20s. He saw that, you know, I was on the come up, and I ain't gonna say he used me at that point, but it was times where he needed me when I was in my 20s. And excuse my language, I held that motherfucker down. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to say he appreciated it at the time, but it wasn't really like reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? He never told me, you know, he just got ghosted again without word. And I just took that, you know, for face value, like, all right, well, it is what it is. He's been doing this my whole life, in and out. So I'm gonna just, you know, let him rock. But before he passed, you know, I'm the type, I can't hold nothing in. So before he passed, I got off my chest what I needed to say to him. You know what I'm saying? And however that made him feel, it is what it is. But I ain't gonna keep that shit on my heart and my soul. But so the biggest thing I would say, I learned what not to do for my pops. Long story short, let's get it.
Shit, it was a long story.
Let's get it.
B, what say you, B?
Oh, Hampton. Well, I never knew my father. Never knew anything about him. What I do know is we look alike because I don't look nothing like the lady who gave birth to me. I would say just to always be there for my kids. While growing up, and even to this very day, I always said to myself that when I have a family, I would always be, there for my kids. Unlike how he was, opposite of him not being there for me. So I would just say that's what I learned from him. Just always be there for your family and take care of your responsibilities. I would say what I do know in terms of whatever the adoption or whatever. If he went absent, I could see why, but I would still say that I've learned, just to be there for your family and be a family man to the best of your ability.
You can see why he went absent.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, let me rephrase that. I can see why he would have no longer had any dealings with the lady who gave birth to me. Let me say
that ain't got nothing to do with his child.
But so I should have worded that a little bit better. And at times, when I was real little, but I don't care now. One thing that also bothered me is how can you have a child out there and not bother to look for your child? That's another thing that I've looked at as well. How you have a child and never bother to look for your child, or you never inquired about your child. What foster care agency is in, who adopted him, etc., etc. You just have no further dealings with the mother.
When did it stop bothering you?
I would say when I was like in high school, I was just like, it just is what it is at this point. And then I just focused my search on finding the lady who gave birth to me, and he just eventually just left out of my system. I would say it was around 9th, 10th grade of my high school year.
But are you what tools do you have? Because is what it is I think is a dangerous phrase. Like it just dismissed, and we always say it when we have to do something we don't like or something that's happening that we don't necessarily agree with. We like it is what it is, but that's not really the case because we got an issue.
Oh yeah, I would say it's an issue, in terms of not having, certain tools in life. But I would say
no, B. Sorry, you misunderstood because you said in 9th or 10th grade you said it is what it is. So that's not dealing. That's just kind of trying to dismiss it. But we know is what it is. We only say that for things that we probably don't agree with or that are hurting us or harmful that we don't have an answer for.
Well, okay, so I would say that's a better answer. I would say that then if that's I see where you're going with that.
I'm just wondering how did you deal? Because 9th and 10th grade, I don't know if we well equipped. If something was bothering you for 14 years.
No, around that time, that's when I kind of was like, just whatever, and then like I said, again, like I said, I did focus a lot of my attention on finding the lady who gave birth to me, and I just focused a lot of that attention on her. And he, let me rephrase. I wouldn't say he 100% left my system, but I would say it was kind of like, if he comes around, if I find more information on him, etc., etc., then I'll use that in my search for him. But I would just focus a lot of my attention on finding the lady who gave birth to me.
Yeah, so that's what kind of leads in. It's a good lead into this question. Did you find yourself finding distractions?
Define that when you say distractions.
Like you said, you focus your attention on finding the lady who birthed you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And also another good thing that you mentioned that it was also in high school when I started to channel a lot of my energy into martial arts, because at that time I just had a lot going on. I was trying to find my father, trying to find the lady who gave birth to me. And I just had a lot of this anger built up in me. And it's a lot of people who grew up without fathers, how they played football or basketball or whatever. I channel a lot of my energy into martial arts because I found it to be a, an escape route for me.
B, without getting, I mean, feel free. I can't, we can cut them off whenever, but I've noticed in this conversation you refer to the gentleman as, or lack thereof, as your father,
Yeah.
but the mother as the lady who gave birth to you. Is there a specific reason why you do that?
No, I just refer to him as whatever. I refer to her as the lady who gave birth to me. I will never call her mother. Um, she's just
Isn't she as culpable as him?
Right. That's kind of where I'm getting at.
Oh well, yeah. I would say yes, she is. They both are at the same culpable, but I guess because when I found her and the rejection that she gave me was still there.
Got you. Okay.
Even to her, her dying, even when she was on her deathbed, and I went to visit her and tried to still get questions and to no answer. When you invest a lot of energy and time and resources into finding someone, and then when you find them and when they still reject you, you're asking these questions and they're not paying you any attention, but they're paying your brother and giving him all the attention. That is a hurtful thing. But when she died, I was the only one there, and I was the one who buried her, out of pocket, money, travel expenses, and I'm not complaining about that. But just the feeling that she left me with. So yeah, it's a hurtful feeling.
So you respect your adoption mother more?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. She can call me for anything. I'm stopping what I'm doing. I got to make sure she's straight. Yeah, absolutely. And my mother encouraged me to find the lady who gave birth to me, and she was very happy when I did find her. But yeah, I've always viewed it as I only got one mother. That's how I've always viewed it.
So, with all that being said, you had developed some daddy issues. I think you kind of said it already a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna say this, and I know how you say ham. All, some. No, I'm gonna say all. There's no man that if he was not raised in the household with a man, and a father figure if that father figure wasn't present in the household, there are some issues there in some way, shape, or form. And again, like I said, I just don't believe that a woman can raise a man into manhood. And from speaking with lots of men who didn't have that father figure in the household, and from the men that I grew up with who didn't have men in the household, there's something that we lack.
Okay.
Oh yeah, daddy issues. Yeah, absolutely. I would say that. And one of my fears is, although I know I want to be a father one day, one of my fears is, am I really ready for that? Because I never had that in my life. Real quickly, I remember my pastor in South Carolina, he said, in order for a man to be a man, he must first see a man. And that is absolutely true. In order for a man to be a man, he must see a man. He has to see that male figure. And when you take that male figure out of the household, it creates what's the word I'm looking for? It can create a discomfort or a discord in the child.
Okay. Let me read the. Damn, I meant to read this a while ago. Alex, they was on your top. No Cupcake Zone podcast with the $2 super chat. Alex practiced generational stealth, no trust. John with the $5. Alex, your husband allow you to put him in a position of weakness due to fear. G Firm with the $5. Most important thing I learned from my father is in life, no one can look out for you better than you. $5 G Firm. Another thing my dad taught me was he said, son, if you're always clean, somebody gonna like you. It seems simple enough. Caesar's Palace with the $10 super chat. What's popping? We have to stop bringing in men on what women do. He's being blaming. That's why you need love to decipher it. We have to stop bringing in men on what women do. There is a whole movement of women going after and making babies with men that are still incarcerated. Women still blame men for these guys also. Damn.
Damn.
That's crazy. That's motherfuckers is desperate, man. But what say you? With him present or not, did you develop daddy issues?
Nah, I don't have no daddy issues.
You sure?
Yeah,
I was
because
about to hex that.
no, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Stop the cap.
Yo, knock it off. my dad was there like I would say like 60, like I said, like 60% of the time. All right, so because like even when I say, you know, my dad was dibbling and dabbling in narcotics, right? When he would go do that, sometimes, you know, he would bring me with him. So that time I spent with him before he got zoned out, I appreciated that time. You know what I'm saying? The times we spent going to travel and see other family members, I appreciated that time. Him and my mom's relationship was just toxic. But the time we spent together, I appreciated that time. The wild shit is, y'all, man, I had to ask my mother this shit as a full-blown adult. So I probably asked her the question like maybe like 3 years ago. I'm like, yo, what happened with Pop? Like, what I'm saying, like, what happened? So she broke down the whole story of how I'm saying when he was in the service, you know, he lost his best friend at the time. He was supposed to take a trip with his best friend at the time, and he ended up not going. And while he went somewhere else, his best friend ended up dying, and then his life fucking spiraled out of control. So I'm like, okay, well, it makes sense now. Now there's a reason why he was the way he was, because mentally he was all fucked up now. So now I get it. Why, you know, he wasn't a good husband to you, or, you know, y'all got a divorce and he started dibbling and dabbling into narcotics and heavy drinking. Yo, he lost somebody that was important to him. You know what I'm saying? But it took me till I was a full-blown adult with a wife and my own kids to get this story. So now I don't have daddy issues, your word.
So I'd like to just challenge you to dig deeper into that, just because I used to tell myself the same thing until I had a conversation on my podcast about daddy issues, and there's 3 of us, so 2 of my guys is just telling stories, good, bad, or indifferent. But I'm sitting there listening to them tell them stories, and I'm starting to get angry, and I don't know why I'm getting angry. Then it all of a sudden hit me like, yo, I don't have a fucking story to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally had no story to share with them. So my man's telling me how he likes the Raiders because his daddy took him to the lake one day and burned the 49ers jersey. They were from Oakland. He's like, so, but he had that story to tell. Like, I had no story to like give people like about my history with my dad. And I'm sitting there like, and I'm getting mad. And I'm like, shit, like, I didn't realize this shit was that deep rooted. Like, because I never thought about it.
But nah, Chief, I got stories to tell. I'm just not telling y'all.
No, but to my point though, like,
I have good stories to tell though about my pops.
See, I don't
like, when my pop used to pick me up, man, on them coach buses, and we used to ride out, you know, from state to state. I appreciated that shit, man. Word, I really, really appreciated that shit. And you know how, you know, when a relationship is torn, you get back home, it's like, and Mom Dukes is like, all right, what'd you do with your dad? So now you got to break down and tell everything you did with your dad, down to the point where it's like, yo, Pops is smoking reefer. You 6, 7 years old. How the fuck you know what reefer is? You know what I'm saying? So we did have good times together. You know what I'm saying? Pops taught me how to fish.
All right.
Yo, PX.
Yeah, I know. He just asked one story. You done told 7 goddamn stories.
But we had good we had good times. I don't have daddy issues, P. I'm straight.
I believe you, B. I believe you.
So Shanae Fulton with the Shanae was popping. B, I'm so loving your transparency tonight. Good shit, B. So what are daddy issues? Like, what do they look like?
I was just about to ask that.
Well,
I'm kind of with Chief on that.
according to Google, it's a lot of the issues that we have as people, um, especially when it comes to relationships. So the inability to be vulnerable, being clingy,
Don't be clingy. Don't be clingy.
Yeah. having trust issues.
Abandonment issues.
Yeah, abandonment
issues, attracting abusive partners.
Yeah.
I think most people display a lot of that, and especially if you don't have your father around.
You don't have none of that.
Well, you don't have none of that, but yeah, I mean.
So then I think
also, I think one that didn't show up on the list could be overcompensating for not having that, right? So like what B said, I want to be a better father. I want to be a present father. That's an extension of that.
I give you that, Q. I give you that one though. I give you that.
But is that? I mean, would you say that's overcompensating? Just when you hear that statement, I want to be in my child's life. I wouldn't say that's overcompensating.
Well, you're because if you look at your reasoning, right? When you said that, you weren't like, it's always been in my heart to do that, and that there was no reason attached to your biological father. It was other shit. Some healthier shit.
And then also on the flip side too, if feeling like you don't need a man to raise a child because you feel like you were fine without one, with a father too. So
yeah, like a hyper independence.
So if those are daddy issues, then it literally lends to the conversation that we started with. If those are daddy issues, the results that we talked about in these streets and all that, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
That's a way. It's a damn good way to put it full circle here.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking if those are real daddy issues, they get displayed how people are, in people's actions, and we've seen it in these environments where dads are non-existent or minimally existent.
I'm still on the fence about it, but okay.
Yeah, a lot of those issues are subconscious as fuck too, and you don't realize they're daddy issues until what I'm saying, you had some time to sit down and do some introspection. So
no, I'm just trying to see, because I'm just trying to see like how they manifest in different ways before I quickly answer. Alex, what say you?
Before I give my answer, him and I have a relationship now, but I didn't really realize the said daddy issues or the lessons learned until now, being an adult, that we have a relationship. But I think one thing that sticks out to me is the lack of trust. That's a mom and dad thing, the lack of trust, and just being in the sense of, if you say you're going to do something, please do it, and then you just wouldn't do it, or not asking more than once. And I think that's something that, as an adult now, that drives me crazy, is that she never held him accountable. And I'm very big on holding people accountable for things. So I feel like I overcompensate with that. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, because my name is all I have. And I'm very big on making sure that I come through for people, which can be sometimes to my detriment. And I see that with work. I see that with friendships. I see that in my marriage. Like, I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen no matter what. And sometimes it's okay to just, step back. But then I think also with that, that's where my grace comes in. And I feel like I give a little bit of too much grace because I am so understanding because of his background or whatever the case is. So it's definitely different I saw him in pockets growing up, but now that I'm an adult, my perspective on it is different. And similar with Bub, like asking someone like, yo, what happened? Why are you like this? Like, where did that come from? So it's very different. And now that we are getting ready to be parents ourselves, I do see him saying similar things to Q's point of, I would never do that. I don't want to be the best dad because I didn't have X, Y, and Z. So there is that bit of overcompensation piece that comes into play as well.
So Alex, yes or no? Is was your reluctance to ask for or lean in on your husband as you do now a result of daddy issues?
Absolutely.
Man, that's real. Isha?
I absolutely have daddy issues. Trust is just not there, and like I said last night, my inability to love my ex-husband the way that he needed to be loved is a result from daddy issues.
Shit.
Wow.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
My inability to love a man the way that a man needs to be loved.
That's God.
That's real as fuck.
Shit like that.
That's real. How the fuck did you come to that conclusion? Wow.
Therapy? No. I actually, so it's fucked up how my father was out of the picture, and I had an older brother, and my older brother had passed away, and him and I had the same father. We didn't find my father until like 2 years after my brother had passed away, so he didn't know his son was gone. But when we found him, I was married, so I had that conversation. I had to have that conversation with him, and his response just wasn't. His response wasn't what I thought it should be, which it really hurt me. But then, I have my stepdad, so.
Yeah. Damn, man. That shit, that's deep. That's deep.
Yo.
Yeah. Isha, shit like that make me wonder about agape love and unconditional love. I'm trying. Is it actual? Because I remember they was trying to get on 50 Cent when he said, "How long can you love somebody who don't love you back?" When he was talking about his son, I'm like, damn. But then I was like, well, damn. People were saying how they was trying to drag him, but like, it's a profound thing. Like,
there's also that forgiveness without somebody even saying, "I'm sorry." And I had to be a grown up and say, "I forgive you," and because I can look at the things that he's experienced in his life and understand that who he was is a result of what his environment was, and it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I got a question. Like, with hearing everybody's stories about their dads and whatnot, especially the absent fathers, do you guys think that at the root of all of these fathers and their issues is a woman? Because I hear women, I guess there was a time where men would get blamed for a lot, but I feel like I constantly hear women being the reason, the blame, the single mother, the this, the that with a woman. So do you guys feel like it's a woman at the root of the poor decisions that these fathers have made?
You mean
my mother wasn't the issue. He was the issue. My mother definitely wasn't the issue. That shit was all of my father's mental state at the time. He had some,
not necessarily your mom, but just in general, like grandmother, grandmother spoiling from a young, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, like, I feel like men are really saying largely is that it's women who are making a poor product of a man.
Nah, I blame him and I blame his fucking father. I'm not gonna blame my mother and my grandmother. I blame him and his fucking father for not being a better father and putting him in position, to learn how to deal with certain situations that was going on in his life.
Big picture though, Bob.
No, there's not. No, I won't blame Q. I'm not blaming the women. No.
If you go to the hood and you go to go ahead, Chief.
No, I was gonna say the same thing Bob said, but big picture. I don't think I can point the finger at my mom or his mom. I would say, from what I've heard from my sister, and I have a sister and a brother from my dad's side, and they say his father. So you know what I'm saying. So he kind of inherited the traits from his father, and that's what kind of led to our daddy issues.
B, you was about to say something too.
Well, I was going to ask a question, but it kind of got clarified. So, I mean, if I was to say who I would point the finger at, is that what we're getting at, Q?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, all right. So the lady who gave birth to me, and I'm just speaking on my situation, all right, because that's really all that I can relate to, or at least I'm going to relate to tonight anyway. She was bipolar and schizophrenic. Now, I don't know if anyone has ever dealt with anyone who is bipolar schizophrenic. That shit ain't easy to deal with. I'll say this: all of her family had abandoned her. She had no one in her corner. So, like I said, if those are the reasons why he chose to no longer have dealings with her, that I totally understand. Now, in terms of neglecting the child, he still could have had interactions with me. But I mean, I'm a little confused on the question. You're saying, is the woman the cause of that?
Is a woman, like, would it have been his mother, his grandmother, the women in his community, the woman who gave birth to, like, whoever?
I mean, if to give you an answer, I really don't know if I can say yes to. I mean,
it's a stereotype, Q, that women coddle their sons.
So they create the damage that creates the poor quality man. Is what I've been hearing a lot of lately.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm assessing it, but you heard that before, right? Women coddle their sons.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you make a weak, sorry, go.
Yeah, like love on their sons and raise their daughters.
Yeah, that cliche term or phrase, and then those men, when they grow up, there's a problem that they can't handle. Do they run? And is the root cause how they were raised? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to see it. Like, is that maybe there's some credence there? But I don't know if she should have to take the blame. If he pussy, he pussy. No matter how he got to be pussy, and that's on him. I don't know though. I don't know. It's interesting, But niggas will crash out over a woman in a heartbeat though. You go to the hood right now. This grave about $1, and then one next to it about a woman. I guarantee it. Go ahead. What you about to say?
No, that's a great point there. I was just gonna say, I think that it's all about accountability at the end of the day.
Yeah.
To your point of that's on him. Like, at a certain point, people want to break those generational curses. Like, when you see the fuck up. If you don't see it, that's one thing. But when you see the fuck up, something in you wants to change that. And if regardless if your father had a father, okay, I don't want to repeat that with him present or absent, then you're giving your kids a better chance. But to sit back and be like, well, I didn't have a dad, so now I'm fucked up. So fuck it, fuck them kids. No, everybody got the fuck them kids t-shirts.
Yeah, fact. I need to make one of them shits. G Firm with a $10 super chat. Any thoughts on the Phoenix Shakur line about who Tupac's father was? Apparently, he thought his father was dead until he paid him a visit in the hospital after being shot in '94 in New York.
I saw that interview. It's good.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't know.
I don't give a fuck about no Tupac.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
To what Q was saying about who to blame, like,
hold on, Alex. I know you usually log off early. I got a few more super chats.
Hang it in there.
Jesus Palace with the $2 super chat. Don't listen to Chief. You're doing just fine, Bub.
I agree, Bub. You are doing just fine. We all got some shit. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus Palace with the $5. It is not called overcompensation. Just because a man wants to be a better father in his life to his kids. It's just another low blow women say to men. On the Baptist with 2 50 was right to drop his son.
Wow.
Golly. Omega Green was popping. $5. Why is it so hard for the women to admit that the men they typically like to have kids with are men who aren't interested in long-term relationships? There's something to assess. G Firm with the $5. Unfortunately, single mothers turn their boys into their emotional husband. Women who've dated mama's boys can attest to this. I feel like we had this convo before, maybe, but maybe we didn't go. Maybe we got to do this as like a topic. Women, the choices that women make in terms of these men. Go ahead, Alex.
I was just about to say, going off of what you said about the choices, and it's a Q's point. I think in my experience, it's been generational with the woman, but that goes back to me. I'm very big on cause and effect, and I've had to say to my mom, you know, being younger, like, well, you chose him. That's the man you chose to have a child with. As fucked up as it was, you know, and she did give me a look, but I was just like, you chose him. And I have asked that, but that just goes back to trauma. And I think when the people that have been in my circle and they've had issues with their kids' fathers, I'm just like, no, you chose him. That's the choice you made. So now you're in this situation and now you're mad. And I think that's why for me, you know, I was so diligent and I did wait a long time to go ahead and be like, okay, let's go ahead and let's move our relationship to the next level. You choose. You make the choice. As a woman, I choose to keep the child or not. I chose to lay down with you and do what I did. Like, at the end of the day, it's my decision, and I made that choice. And along with that choice comes several other consequences. It's either A or it's B, and so forth and so forth. So I think for me, like, that's something that I don't think is talked about a lot. I think as women, we have that choice. And we choose our kids' parents. We choose their father. We really do.
Yeah. Nah, real shit, man.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
So if I were to go real quick, like, I don't play any cards because my dad used to play a lot of cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, them old motherfuckers just be playing cards all night, whatever the case is. I'm like, nah, I don't even know how to play blackjack or none of that shit. You know what I mean? Because I've seen some adverse, you know, effects from it. Would that be like an issue, or is it just like a learning?
Yeah, it's a learning. Definitely.
I can't hate you, Chief. You said something. You can't hate. You can't hate you.
My bad. I said I don't think it's an issue. I definitely think it's one of them subconscious lessons you learned. You know what I'm saying? Just from watching, you said some adverse shit happen in those moments, and it's like, if that's what that is about, I'm gonna stay away from that.
Yeah, just the effects of it, you know.
Yeah, kind of like why I don't drink. Saw some wild shit happen from drunk cats. Like, that's not my thing.
Word. Any final thoughts on this? No. Good. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. Please visit all the links in the description. Become a member. You know what I'm saying? We growing. We going up. Hit the links. Follow the team. Everybody is working. That's how you show love, by support. Point blank. Period. If you want to show love, pay full price. God damn it. You know. Real shit, man.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Y'all,
shit like
said
that.
some
shit
real
like
shit
that.
up here tonight, man. That ass. Bub said a word. Isha said a word. Even Alex. So that's good, man. Q pushed the buttons, but it allowed for to further the conversation. You know what I mean? She B, where you been at, man?
You know, working.
What's your new job? You a slave?
Oh, well.
Is that your new job?
Add one more tax to my plate, then I will be.
Damn, man, that's what's up, man. We missed you, right, Ish? Don't worry, Ish. We almost done. Old ass. But they told me your OnlyFans was pop. Well, never mind. I ain't gonna tell everybody. Damn, man. Hey, Alice. That's how she got to work from home. Oh man, John the Bass with the $5 super chat. You have 17 years and 364 days to talk. On your 18th birthday, shut up and figure it out. Wow. Oh no, John. Oh no. I think that's where we fuck up, kicking kids out too early, man.
Absolutely.
These white kids, they stay home till they 26 because that's when benefits end, and then they've got a substantial job at that point, and they can actually purchase. Our kids is out here struggling because we kicking them out the house at 18. And then I don't know if you believe in science, but studies show the brain's not even developed until 25. Fuck, I'm doing outside. That eating oodles and noodles shit is not something. No, but you seen Alex just eating them noodles? I got disgusted, man.
Don't do that.
God damn, I know you pregnant, but make better choices, man. Hey, you eat Q. That's the problem right there. The motherfucking oodles and noodles, right? Q just told you they putting GMOs and other shit in your food.
Sorry.
Damn, man. G Firm with the $10 super chat. Everything that happens in society is a byproduct of what men are doing and what the men allow. There's a reason there's so much illegitimate children is because men have lost our fear in God. That's solid, man. I think that's solid, you know. All right, hold on, one more. G, that was solid, G. Omega Green with the $5 super chat. Black America will never become competitive with a dominant society without a stable nuclear family as its base. At this point, things look dire. Yeah, I think the nuclear family is a building block. You know, man, it's been awesome, man. I feel like we had a good ass conversation today. I feel like there was a lot of points made valid. You know, regardless if you agree or disagree, I think that, you know, very substantive this evening. Hold on, one more shit. Ed Knox said facts. I don't know what he's talking about. Probably to what I said. It probably make the most sense. He might be talking about the zoo. I'm gonna take the love though. Fuck it. John the Baptist. I didn't say kick them out. That's true. I just don't know if figuring out what else will we deduce from that though.
Yeah.
You know. O'Shea Lennox, the hobbies with the $2. We appreciate you, bro. You gotta tell me what you want to say though before we get up out of here. Who in the chat real quick? Infamous was popping. You was late today too. Nina, I see you. Sinead was late. Omega Green was late. John was on time. Yeah, man, it's been dope. All right, let's do these finals. I'm just trying to give O'Shea a second to see what he was trying to say. I don't know what he's trying to say. Hey, hey, Bub. All right.
I'm listening.
I'm just asking.
Mm-hmm.
It's your best friend sleep with your girlfriend. Who you more mad at?
My girlfriend.
Why?
Because she a trifling fucking whore.
Wait, that don't even compute.
Wow.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You don't use the word bitch, but you use the word whore.
Yep.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Absolutely.
So you more mad at her?
Absolutely. A man gonna do what a man gonna do. But if you my girlfriend, you should know better. You know what I'm saying? You should know. You should if we've been in a relationship for a certain amount of time where I'm actually even calling you my girlfriend, why you gonna sleep with my man for?
She was wilding.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna beat my man up over no buns. You know what I'm saying? But I can definitely get rid of her and rebound.
You know, still gonna be your man?
Well, we can box, but then after the fact, because you know how men do, we could box and then be fucking friends 3 days later. You know what I'm saying? You know how men do.
Yeah.
Hemp, I could get mad at you one day. We could box, and then fucking on Saturday we back having drinks.
Yeah, especially a girlfriend. Like, if I'm even using that terminology, that shit probably.
Yeah, you know how that shit be, man.
Yeah, word. G Firm $5. The Bible says a house divided against itself will not stand. As long as black men and women are divided, we'll continue to be at the bottom. Yeah, real shit. I know we said that in a bunch of different ways up here for sure. Listen, man, it's been dope. Good shit. If you ain't learned nothing tonight, you just wasn't willing to. That's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot. I think when Chief asked Bub additional questions, it also made me like, okay, let me assess and then reassess and then vet my assessments to see if I really did a good job of digging in and being transparent with myself. I think that reflection is necessary. I don't really fuck with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. B. Final thought.
So I do believe that the black family is very important and needed in today's society. I would encourage all men to be an active participant in your child's life. I would also say, even to the fathers who aren't active in their child's life, try to do your best to get involved in your child's life, even if it means making amends with, your baby mother or whatever. Because I do believe that men, especially as black men, we do need to see strong black men in a child's life. So yeah, definitely make that amends, to be that father figure and be present in your child's life.
Word. Alex.
I love how transparent everyone was today. Takes a lot to be vulnerable like that. B, thank you for sharing. Fathers are super important, especially black fathers. Be in your children's life. Take an active role. And then shout out to my husband. Okay? I love you. 4 years married tomorrow. Thank you.
Word. Chief.
Happy anniversary, Alex. You and your dude. To B's point, be an active father in your kid's life. Fuck even trying to be make amends with the kid's mother. If you ain't gotta do that, you ain't gotta do that. If she grimy, trifling, all the above, and you found out way later, whatever, you still have a responsibility to raise that child and be in that kid's life. I don't care how much child support she put you on. I don't care how much she try to turn your kid against you, whatever adversity you're going through. Show up for your kids. And presence is better than presence.
Word. Lisa.
I think, just because you're a single mom doesn't mean that you're bad at what you do, but it does mean that your children still have you're operating in a deficit. So if the father can be in their life, let them be in their life. The one thing I hate is for a woman not to allow a man to be a father because of her personal feelings.
Word. But
first and foremost, shout out to all the viewers that tuned in tonight. Shout out to everybody that provided a super chat. Shout out to Savage with your crazy ass. Stop blaming the black man for society's issues. It's not fair to us. And I just want to salute Isha and Alex. I see y'all growth since y'all been on this show. And yo, shout out to Alex, man. It took you 11 years, but yo, I appreciate the fact that you really love and appreciate your husband now. Let's get it.
Word. Q.
Yeah, shout out to B, the motherfucking MVP for tonight. He's sharing some real shit and he came on and really had a lot to say tonight, unlike most nights. But I fuck with you, B. With regards to all the blaming, and I hear what B is saying. I think it needs to stop on both sides. I think men need to stop finger pointing the women because you do have those three fingers coming back at you. Women need to stop finger pointing the men because you have those three fingers pointing back to you. And I think when we get past shifting blame, people can assume the roles that they need to and step into those positions. I think it is important for fathers to step up, and I think it is important for mothers to allow that. And I think we got to do a better job overall. Fuck anybody in the chat who disagrees with this final statement. And do your research. It's a lot of smart, dumb shit being said out here by people who are very charismatic with their own agendas. Do your research and go with what resonates with you.
Word. Yeah, I just I just want to recalibrate. That's all. I want kids to be allocated to their fathers first, and then we can prove this shit, right? To see if we can really do it, because the stats are the stats. Q had a fair point. Will backed it up. It could be skewed because it's all small sample size. All right, cool, but we aren't getting good results. How we doing it? And you're right. Blaming without any solution is often not. But I do think we need to bring shaming back to start to recalibrate again. Because if everybody just doing whatever they want and it's all okay, you cannot set an expectation or standards. If you manage people, you know you have to set rules, guidelines, and expectations if you want real results that are consistent. So I think we need to bring shaming back and set some fucking rules and guidelines. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.